Good morning, and thank you, Jay. Thank you all for coming, and welcome to Vancouver, and particularly Riverside Resources. We're actually based here. I moved here from living in the States and in Chile. And with Riverside Resources, we're a mineral exploration company listed on the Toronto Venture Stock Exchange under the symbol RRI. We'd like to say that's IRR, return. We've been able to make return for our shareholders. We've been able to operate the company for a decade. We've been able to get continually a better portfolio of projects, and what we've been able to do is bring in projects through the prospect generator business model. To show this business model is about getting partners to spend the money. So we have major partners such as Antofagasta, and we have major partners like Centerra. Those partners spend the money on the projects that we own, and we provide all the operational work. By spending money, by their money, and us doing the operational work, we don't actually have to go through our treasury. So please, as you look at your portfolio, how many companies have had to go through their treasury? How many companies, like Riverside this year, show a profit? We've been able to show a profit many years because we use this model. Having 37 million shares out after a decade is fairly remarkable. Myself, like you, don't want to keep having to put up money into the company. Riverside hasn't had to do a financing in over 6 years. The thing we have been able to do is do exploration. To do that exploration has helped the share price to move. How many people have share distribution charts like this? Each year, Riverside doesn't put out more shares. What we do is we do exploration. We've been able to do exploration, and many of you, or some of your shareholders, many of you have been speaking and hearing about the different things that we've been able to have go. Well, one thing we've been able to do is do well in the stock market, particularly well relative to the overall indexes. In fact, if you go back and look quarter after quarter for the last 40 quarters, the last 10 years, Riverside has over 70% of the time beaten the indexes. Why is that? Because we don't print paper. We use the prospect generator model to generate from our ideas. Many of you have been in business a long time. Myself, I started working in Mexico 29 years ago. We built a database. We built that database and have continued to use it. And by using it, big, smart people have decided to see that's the way to make value, and they've joined Riverside as shareholders. Many of the newsletter writers here as well have been supportive, and you'll maybe be following Brian and Brent and Jay, and we appreciate that. But for shareholders, having people like Rick Rule and Sprott Resource Group is excellent. Having people like Paul Stevens and European investors joining our market. And also, we really appreciate Peter Schiff and having Adrian Day and Frank Holmes as shareholders. Those people have put their own money into Riverside because they see that Riverside has a focus. We have a focus on wealth creation. We really focus on trying to expose our shareholders to the upside by knowing what we know. We know Mexico, we know gold, we know precious metals, we know how to turn $1 into $2.50 through using other people's money and giving our shareholders that upside. One of the projects that's been remarkable for us is the PENOLES project in Durango, Mexico. Maybe of you followed companies like First Majestic Silver and Mag Silver, which are excellent companies that have done very well, where Riverside has made discoveries and been able to do all this other work using OPM, other people's money. But we own the assets. We continually own the assets. We also have shares. We also have royalties. We also get cash from those different partners, and we do the technical work. So we've been able to continually do exploration in this project over having 130 drill holes. Yet Riverside simply had to put in 5 holes. We make the discovery, and then we let the market take care of the rest. The market, the partners, and us doing the operational work. So if you can get 43101 resources, please come to our booth. We can go through all these technical nature. Yes, doctor, I don't put that on my card. I want to be someone that helps you, not someone that's a doctor. That's a scientific thing. I want to be a doctor of wealth creation, wealth generation for us as shareholders. The way we do that is we get things that are high grade, very rich. Next week, there's a conference here. We'll be demonstrating core. All the technical aspects, we have that covered. But what we do here is we are a shareholder. Myself, I'm a major shareholder, put all of my efforts into this, and I've never sold a share of Riverside stock. I've participated in every financing, although they don't happen often, and I buy in the market. The reason I buy in the market is because it's about high grade. Riverside has high grade. We have high grade silver, 0.5 kilogram silver near the surface. We have old mines where the old people used to work and develop and smelt. We now own those. We have a database of 75,000 locations. Out of 75, we pick the top 75, the 1 in 1,000. People say discoveries are made at 1 in 1,000. Well, we start at the 1 in 1,000 for even beginning. So it's no wonder every project that we've funded ourselves drilling has always ended up with a resource. That's a forward-looking statement. That's an enthusiastic CEO, and that's also a fact. In one diagram, it shows that we're the wheel of wealth creation. I welcome you to come to our booth in the back and go through it in more detail, but simply you can see that we have continually, like a flywheel, like Warren Buffett's snowball, continually added value to Riverside. We've added value through getting more royalty interests, through more partnerships. At the top, you can see this year we have exploration earn-ins. Exploration earn-in with companies like Centerra Gold. It took me over 24 months to close a deal with Centerra Gold because they were working in Kyrgyzstan, a giant gold mine, making lots of money, but unfortunately difficult to get the money out of the company. Difficult for them to actually have a good working relationship. So what we did is we went to them and said, look, why don't you come and work with us in Mexico? We developed a project with them, a program with them. We now have Drill Corps. We've been doing lots of work with them, and we have yet another program going in 2017 with them. Another thing that we're doing is we have spin-outs. Spin-outs are part of the ultimate for us that we have gone through the path. We have developed a project, worked it up, done drilling, and now it's actually sustainable so that it can go forward with a new partnership, in this case, another IPO. Riverside has done over 6 of these in our life of a company, and that's pretty remarkable that in a decade, once every other year, for example, we've been able to put together a portfolio, put together a project, and be able to get it to be good enough to go forward. Jay was showing some of the ups and downs in the market. And downs in the market are not a time when you can see that those can happen. So when those start to happen, that's a good sign the market's going up. And that's one of the facts that we've seen, that each time as the market's gone up, Riverside has been able to ongoingly put out new companies. And we own shares, and we own the royalty, and we own cash. So in 2017, that'll be news flow for us. Again, those are the type of things that can catapult Riverside stock. Remember, we only have 37 million shares. Remember, our market cap is $17 million, yet we have $3.5 million cash. So with a $13 million enterprise value, any one of these actions can easily make the stock go up significantly. And we have in the past, and other prospect generators have in the past. So the wheel of fortune, the wheel of success, Riverside. One project this year that you'll see news flow coming with Centerra is the GLOR project. We like it because it's in the good neighborhood. Just to the left of us, just to the east, we have project of Alamos Gold. To the other side, we have big mines with Fresnillo producing. In the middle of this, we have gold. It's a very nice region to work, and we're pleased to have these type of projects. For the life of the company, reach in your pocket and think if you have $1. We've actually had $2.50 of partners' money for the entire life of the company that we've actually had spent. That's leverage. So having a share in Riverside creates leverage exposed to your upside through using partner spending on the projects. We've been able to do that. So we've been able to de-risk and go through, as Jay mentioned, 64 properties. We currently have a portfolio of 14 properties, with these moving ahead with different types of joint ventures. So owning one share in Riverside, you'll be able to go up. Sure, this year we've gone up 300%. Sure, this year we've done great. We've done that continually, and we'll do it again. The reason is that we have a good business. We've been able to successfully do this. So in summary, we can see that Riverside has a good cash position. We've been able to continually have a good cash position. We also never talk about the value of those shares, but we have shares in all these other companies. As they go up, that adds value for Riverside. We also have the tight share structure. That's pretty unique that we've been able to go. So we don't issue a lot of shares. We have shareholders that have bought in the market. So they're like you and me and ourselves, that we buy in the market, we hold the shares, and we make value from the company, and the value is created through the discovery. Riverside has discovery potential this year with projects partnered with such as majors like Antofagasta, giant copper companies the size of Teck and bigger. They need big mines. They develop big mines, and an example would be the success of a company like Reservoir Minerals. there. They made its discovery. In that case, Freeport. Similarly, we're trying to do that with Antofagasta, them drilling on doing exploration on porphyry copper properties. With the success, the projects are bought out. In that case, it was Nevsun for almost $500 million. Those are the type of takeout. So imagine a company as Riverside from a $17 million with that type of discovery, with those type of partners. Thank you. I hope you'll come and visit us, and I always welcome to phone calls or please contact me personally. I'm John Mark Staude. I think you should own shares in Riverside. I do, and I'm very passionate about it. Thank you.